Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you really want to live in the body and mind you really want to be living in. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of food and body freedom, as well as find more meaning and more moments of joy in life, you are in the right place. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here and listening. This is another episode of Weight Loss and Wellness for Real. And I am your host, Heather Heynen. And today we are going to tackle a topic that affects so many of us when it comes to our health, to weight loss. If you're someone working hard to lose weight or keep weight off, and it's a topic that doesn't often get discussed on its impact on our actual weight and weight loss resistance and things like that. And so that is the topic of stress and specifically how it impacts our weight. I really want this episode to be about you being able to understand how stress is so impactful for weight. Now, we know, most of us know stress totally impacts our physical, mental, emotional health in many other ways, but I think often people don't understand how it really does affect us if we are trying to lose weight, keep weight off, how that part of our physical body is affected by stress. And not just in regards to stress eating, but how when we are stressed, when our bodies and brains are stressed, how that makes us weight loss resistant in a very different way than things like stress eating. So very different than calories in, calories out. So I want to do this episode to help you really understand that, because I find this is often when I'm working with clients, one of that they can be doing everything right when it comes to the nourishing food they're taking in, when it comes to the movement they're giving their bodies. So they're doing everything right, but they're still very weight loss resistant. Usually it's when we start to tackle this idea of stress and teaching them different tools and strategies for managing stress in their life, when we can finally get that weight to start coming off. So we don't change anything with food. We don't change anything with movement. It's all about the stress. So this episode is going to be about understanding why this is happening, why stress can make us weight loss resistant, and also what we can do about it. All right, before I get going, just a reminder, you can head to my website at heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen. Lots of resources over there for you, but I would really suggest you scroll to the bottom of any page and sign up for my monthly newsletter. It just comes once a month. It's on all things well-being. It's totally free. I never sell or use your email address. I keep it all to myself, so you're not going to get spammed from anyone. And in that newsletter, I always talk about one topic in regards to well-being and wellness, usually very, very include lots of just very practical strategies, because you know me, I'm very practical. I want to tell you how to do all these things, not just what to do. And then I always include a high protein recipe and also links and discount codes to products and services that support this podcast. Okay, so let's get going. We often hear about stress and its really negative effects on our health. But again, stress can actually make it harder to lose weight. And this happens for a few key reasons. First, when we're stressed, our bodies release cortisol. That's a hormone you've heard me talk about a lot. And it's a hormone designed to help us handle emergencies. We need cortisol in order to live. We have to have cortisol in our bodies. So it's not that cortisol is a bad hormone or anything like that. It's just that when it's chronically on, it causes some problems. When cortisol hits, it really creates this fight or flight response. And it's super useful in very short bursts and for emergencies. But when stress becomes chronic because we are not using tools or strategies to manage our stress, so when it becomes chronic, cortisol levels stay elevated all day long. There's actually a pattern to cortisol. You want it to peak in the morning as you're waking up, and then you want it to sort of be this slow coasting ride throughout the day as it goes down, down, down until it's evening, nighttime, you're ready to go to bed, and cortisol is kind of low so that melatonin can kick in. So there's a pattern to cortisol that we want. We want sort of that heightened response right in the morning, and then this very slow, just meandering path downward for the rest of the day. But when we're in chronic stress, cortisol levels stay elevated, and elevated cortisol leads to increased appetite and cravings, always for high fat, high sugar foods, so high caloric food, energy dense food. Even if you just kind of think about it, when you're stressed, are you reaching for a salad or are you reaching for a tub of ice cream, right? Second, cortisol affects where your body stores fat. High levels of cortisol lead to more fat being stored in the abdominal area. And this type of fat is not only hard to lose, but it increases the risk of other health issues like heart disease and diabetes. We have a word for this. It's called visceral fat. And so that higher cortisol all day long really contributes to keeping this visceral fat on, typically around the waist, around the midsection. All right. So I wanted to go a little bit deeper on how stress actually impacts our metabolic rate. So, metabolism, as I'm sure most of you know, refers to all the chemical processes and hormonal processes in our body that keeps us alive, including how we convert food into energy. So, when stress becomes chronic, it alters our metabolism in a few ways. So here's what happens. We get these hormonal imbalances. So chronic stress triggers a consistent release of cortisol, like we were just talking about. And elevated cortisol leads to insulin resistance, which means your cells do not respond well to insulin and your body has to produce more to keep blood sugar levels stable. And this slows down your metabolism as your body becomes less efficient in processing and storing glucose. Heightened cortisol throughout the day, it also leads to muscle breakdown, and muscle tissue burns more calories at rest compared to fat tissue. So we want more and more muscle tissue, but when our cortisol is heightened like that all throughout the day, when we're stressed like that, we lose more muscle mass, and so this means our resting metabolic rate goes down, and this is counterproductive for weight loss because you end up burning fewer calories throughout the day. Another way chronic stress can affect us is our thyroid function. I had this happen. This was about 4 or 5 years ago now. But chronic stress really affects our thyroid, a gland that regulates your metabolism. High cortisol levels can inhibit the production of thyroid hormones, leading to a slower metabolic rate. And there's all different ways that the thyroid can be affected through chronic high stress. But bottom line, it basically makes it so it's not working efficiently, and really does slow down our metabolic rate to where some of our symptoms might include fatigue, weight gain, and that huge resistance to weight loss. So if you're trying to lose weight, just difficulty in doing that. This would be things where you might see things, people who are down to like 1,200 calories a day, 1,000 calories a day, 800 calories a day, and they are still gaining weight. And then also with energy conservation. So when our body perceives ongoing stress, it can go into this energy conservation mode, right? Sometimes called the starvation mode. It's similar to what happens when people are starving, and it means your body becomes a lot more efficient at storing energy, at storing calories, and less efficient at burning it because it's trying to survive. And this is an evolutionary response. It's supposed to happen. It was super useful for survival during times of scarcity, but it is not helpful in our modern high stress lives. All right, so the relationship between stress and weight loss really is a little bit of a vicious cycle, because when we're stressed, we gain weight, which can make us feel even more stressed. And this additional stress can lead to further weight gain, and the cycle continues. I am guessing many of you listening to this podcast have been in this space before. I know I am. It's an incredibly frustrating cycle. And then weight gain can affect our mental health. We know this can lead to feelings of frustration, low self-esteem, and even depression. And then these emotions can trigger more stress, leading us back to the start of the cycle. All right, so how do we break the cycle? Hey everyone, just a quick interruption to talk about a new company I'm working with, a company that I actually adore. That is Kion Aminos. I've been using Kion Aminos daily for months now, and I love this product so much. I was super, super excited to work with them. This company is very, very well vetted. It is one of the only companies that have all 9 essential amino acids in their product, and where they also list exact amounts of each essential amino acid, which so many companies do not disclose. So you know that you are getting exactly what you need in this product. So, supplementing with essential amino acids has been shown to help with appetite control, as well as helping to support muscle maintenance and also recovery. Kion aminos can help you feel fuller longer, help to reduce cravings, and help build muscle for a leaner body. We cannot produce all the amino acids we need for optimal health directly in our bodies. We need to get some of them, called essential amino acids, through our food or supplementation. And if we do not consume these essential amino acids on a regular basis, our bodies lose the ability to create and maintain muscle mass as well as bone density. And so making sure you're getting all the amino acids you need becomes really, really important. And I really believe, particularly as we age. I really like knowing that along with getting in my dietary protein amount, I am also supplementing with the essential amino acids I want daily for my long-term goals of strength, muscle maintenance, maintaining my weight, and staying healthy as I age. So, some real quick protocols if you're trying out the product. And if you're someone trying to lose weight, you could take a scoop mixed with water in the morning and then again in the afternoon. Usually, when you notice your energy slumping in the afternoon, to help boost that appetite control before dinner. This is often how I use Kion aminos. Also, if you're an endurance athlete and you're doing longer than 1 hour of endurance work, you could take 5 to 10 grams per hour. So when I do my long bike rides, this is what I'm making sure I take in every hour. This really ensures that my muscles are getting everything they need as they are working really hard for me. I feel better riding with this protocol. You could also take a scoop before bed after a hard workout to help with recovery. So, since I felt all the benefits of this product, I really want to share it with you. And because you are a listener of this podcast, you can try their product for 20% off. If you decide to give these a try, because you could use some help with appetite control and or want to supplement for muscle maintenance and recovery, then use my referral link, which is getkion.com/Heather. Again, that is GETKION.com/Heather for 20% off your order. This company is so great because they also offer a 60-day money back guarantee on their products. So go check it out at getkion.com/Heather for 20% off and see how essential amino acids can support your weight loss goal and your athletic performance. And the good news is there are several effective strategies to reduce stress, which can help support your weight loss efforts. So here are some tips. And I'm going to say the first one, and I know some of you are going to roll your eyes, but it's really important to understand that these things really can help you lose weight. So the first one is going to be mindfulness and meditation. Having a mindfulness practice, or if you can meditate, I'm not a big meditator. I can do the mindfulness. Meditation has never worked so well for me. I'm still working on that. Maybe someday it will, but I'm good with the mindfulness. It can really help calm your mind and reduce stress levels. So even just a few minutes of deep breathing exercises each day can make a really big difference. Apps like Headspace or Calm. My favorite one, I just lost the name of it. My favorite one is called Insight Timer. I love that app. Um, they all offer guided sessions to help you get started, not just to get started. I still use a guided session every day. I really just don't have, I don't know, the concentration power to do it on my own. So I use a guided app every single day. The research that I've seen, it's 5 to 10 minutes every day is what helps change the brain in regards to stress response, what happens in the brain hormonally, neurotransmitterally, all those things. When we have chronic stress, you do need 5 to 10 minutes a day of a mindfulness practice to where we see the brain starting to change in the research that we have in regards to brain scans. 60 minutes once a week does not do it. It doesn't do the same thing. So you need that 5 to 10 minutes every single day. Okay, regular exercise or movement. We know this. Physical activity is a great way to manage stress. It releases endorphins, which are natural mood lifters, helps us just feel like we can handle more stress. You guys all kind of know the guidelines, aiming for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days of the week. It really can be anything from a brisk walk to a yoga session. For some of you, maybe like me, who are really, really active, something to think about here too is when we push our bodies. So I'm all for, if where you're at in life and with your time and lifestyle is, you can get in, a 10-15 minute walk every day and that's all you got, that's fine, that's awesome. Or you're going to watch a 20-minute YouTube yoga video, that is great. But one other thing to just say about exercise and movement, if you can and if you have the ability, the harder you push your body physically during a moment during the day, maybe, for 10 minutes during the day, 30 minutes. So I'm talking like sprinting or, I like to push my body like with ultra endurance cycle rides or climbing. When we push our bodies really, really hard, that also really helps us manage normal everyday stress. And I have not seen the research. I'm not exactly sure on how this links, but what I do know is the harder we push ourselves physically, the harder we make ourselves struggle in a way, the better adept we are at handling normal everyday stress. I always think of it kind of like when I'm out there sort of feeling, I mean, like if I'm epicking out on my bike, which just happened to me yesterday, and I'm running out of water and it's like I'm really, really suffering. It's sort of like, I mean, I knew I wasn't going to die, but it's kind of like when you come close to that feeling, you sort of recognize then everyday stressors in life are just not a big deal. They're just not. So I think that's why sort of a mindset that it helps us manage stress better. Okay. And then of course, nourishing eating habits. So eating a nourishing diet can really help regulate our mood and energy levels. So focusing on whole foods, really trying to keep away from ultra processed foods is probably the biggest thing, making sure you get in the amount of protein that's right for you. And then also just avoiding excessive caffeine and sugar because both can contribute to anxiety and then energy swings where you're really high for a second and then you crash. And this all leads to stress within the body and those higher cortisol ranges throughout the day. Hey, I'm all for caffeine. I drink a cup of coffee every morning, but if you're prone to anxiety, you really want to consider limiting your caffeine consumption. You all know this one too, sleep. So our quality of sleep is really crucial for stress management and weight loss. Really trying to get in 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. That is quality sleep. So working on your sleep hygiene, like a calming bedtime routine. I prescribe a lot of yoga nidra to many of my clients. I use it as well. It works wonders for many of us. And then trying to go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. That's huge. Another one that we don't talk about a lot here on this podcast, but it's social support. So connecting with friends and family can really provide that emotional support that helps us as humans manage stress. I would just also say don't be afraid to seek professional help if you're feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes talking to a therapist can provide new insights and coping strategies. But obviously, if you have good friends you can trust or family members you can trust, being able to talk with them can be can do the job just as well. Time management, all right, it's another one we don't talk about a lot when it comes to stress, but sometimes stress comes from feeling overwhelmed by our to-do list, like what it is in our brain. We're saying, oh, I got to get this done and this done and this done. Breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps and prioritizing what's most important. I like to keep a to-do list. with priorities at the top, I just reconfigure it every single morning, like what's most important to get done today. And I do not overwhelm myself with like 5 tasks. I give myself 3 big tasks that are prioritized that need to get done that day. And then that's it. The rest, gets moved to the next day or whatever. Also, just part of this is remembering it is okay to say no and to set really some healthy boundaries to protect your mental health. And I've done a couple of episodes that dig deeper into how to set healthy boundaries for yourself. And you can scroll back and find some of those if that's something you struggle with. Okay, so we kind of put this all together. If you think about it, reducing stress, it's not just about feeling better. It's about creating an environment where your body can thrive. So by managing stress, you are not only improving your overall well-being, but you are also setting the stage for successful weight loss if that's your goal, and or staying in weight maintenance if you're where you want to be and not putting on weight as you age or any of that. So just remembering it's a journey and it's okay to take those small, doable steps. Every positive change you make really leads to big improvements over time. Okay, that's it for today's episode. I hope you found some of this helpful and valuable. And if you did, would you please subscribe or follow the show and or leave a comment if you have time to do that, or a 5-star review. All these things really, really, really help me to continue to put out an episode each and every week. Also, if you can just share it with someone who might benefit from it, that would be awesome. All right, we will talk soon. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and there you will find links to my online courses, how I work with clients one-on-one, as well as online with my coaching and counseling services that I offer. The information in this podcast is intended to provide a broad understanding and knowledge of healthcare topics. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be considered complete and should not be used in place of advice from your physician or healthcare provider. We recommend you consult your physician or healthcare professional before beginning or altering your personal exercise, diet, or supplementation program.